In this video, I'm going to share the secret to getting more happy customers, improving retention, and boosting positive engagement. Just 3 words can make a huge difference to your customer success metrics, so listen closely. Time to value. Imagine you buy a new shelf, but after you open the box, you realize that you have to put the whole thing together yourself. Also, the instructions are super complicated, so you spend hours trying to decipher them. Then halfway through, it turns out you have to go buy some custom tools to put the shelf together correctly. Not very fun, right? Days or weeks will go by before the shelf is finally put together correctly and you can start using it. Alternatively, you could just buy a pre-built shelf and start using it immediately. That's a lot more convenient and it has a lower time to value. What is time to value? And how does any of this relate to marketing? Keep watching to find out, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. All right, let's get into it. Time to value, or TTV, is a metric that represents how long it takes for a customer to get value from a product or service. Value can mean a lot of things, and it really depends on your business and the goals you set. You can measure TTV based on different metrics of your choosing. You might base it on how long it takes for a customer to complete an onboarding process. Or if a tool helps your customers earn revenue, you could measure TTV by how long it takes for them to hit a certain return on investment, or ROI. Some businesses define TTV as the moment when the customer realizes they're benefiting from the product or service they've purchased. So, as an example, let's say you sell project management software to businesses, and the onboarding process for the software takes about 2 weeks. That's about how long it will take before your customer reaps the benefits of it. So, in that case, 2 weeks would be a good TTV estimate. Or maybe you sell washing machines, and it takes some time to get them hooked up and program them with the right settings before you can start washing clothes in them. In that case, TTV would be however long that setup process takes. In other words, the amount of time between the purchase and the first wash. As you might have noticed, TTV isn't always a super precise metric. The point is to get a general sense of how long the average customer will have to wait before they see value, and that varies from product to product or service to service. But what's the point of focusing on TTV at all? Customers will eventually realize that there's value in front of them, right? Well, the faster a customer understands the value of their investment, the more likely they are to stick around. With a shorter TTV, you can also earn more sales, including upgrades or upsells, and improve customer retention. Inversely, the longer it takes someone to see value from your products or services, the less likely they are to stick around. And I can't forget to mention this one. If your competitors have a shorter TTV than you, there's a good chance customers will go to them. I mean, if you're buying a new project management tool, which would you rather have? A tool that takes a couple of months to set up, or one that takes a whole year? I'm guessing the first one. Now, of course, TTV isn't the golden metric for every company. If you sell something like toothbrushes, TTV isn't really relevant to you. TTV is especially important for companies selling products or services that take time to set up, especially software as a service companies or SaaS companies and professional services companies. It takes time to learn how to use an advanced software tool. Trust us, we've used a lot of them. Also, if you offer consulting services, they aren't going to drive up your client's revenue overnight. If any of those examples apply to your company, you'll want to measure your TTV. You might find that it's longer than you want it to be, in which case you'll want to take steps to reduce it. It will take some analysis and planning, but it's very possible to cut down your TTV. The guiding principle of improving TTV is to try to keep everything as simple as possible. If you sell software that requires an onboarding process, keep that process as straightforward as you can. Don't overcomplicate things. For example, avoid making your customers have to speak to 5 different people or visit 10 different pages to get the information they need. Put all the info in one place and keep it simple. Your goal is to make everything super user-friendly so your customers don't get overwhelmed. The more complex things are, the longer they'll take. Pro tip alert, if you want to make things super easy for your customers, give them a ton of helpful documentation. That means helpful videos, easy to understand documents, FAQs, and so on. Keep them in a single, central location that's easily accessible. That'll make it way easier for people to understand your tool or other product at super speed. You should also look for any inefficiencies in your products or services that might make things take longer. Sometimes the issue could be with the product itself, like if you sell software, maybe it requires users to do something manually that you could easily automate instead. Or maybe the tool is just super hard to navigate, and it'd be a million times easier if you organized it better. Now, of course, some products are just complex by nature, especially technology. If you have a super complicated product, one thing you could try is rolling it out in phases. So let's say you have a new client starting the onboarding process for using your latest manufacturing equipment. Instead of throwing everything at the client at once, start with only the most basic features of the equipment. Get them driving results with those features before you move to the next phase and start training them on some of the more complicated ones. When you do that, your TTV can become way shorter. Even if the total onboarding process takes a month, the client could start seeing value with the basics, probably within the first week. Well, there you have it. You know what TTV is, why it's important, and how to shorten it. Now it's time for you to get back to driving revenue for your business. Oh, and on your way out, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We would really appreciate it. We have tons of helpful marketing videos just like this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.